Over the years, researchers have explored large bodies of water, including lakes, rivers, seas, and oceans. You may think these water bodies have been fully explored. However, more than 80% of the sea is still unmapped and unexplored. From rocket engines to ancient cities, and from ancient computers to rivers, we explore some of the most mysterious underwater discoveries that actually exist. These discoveries are not just fascinating. Some of them contribute to our knowledge of the seas and oceans, while some remind us of lives lost in these bodies of water. In this video, we will look at some of the mysterious discoveries that exist underwater. Some of these discoveries have satisfied our curiosity over the years. Some mysteries have been solved by these discoveries, while others have been created, and we wonder how it happened in the first place. You'll be surprised by the amazing things found underwater. Number 10. Apollo 11 mission engines. The Apollo 11 spacecraft mission was launched in 1969, making the US astronauts the first to walk on the moon. 5 powerful engines that powered the first stage dropped into the Atlantic Ocean and were thought to be missing. Well, not until Amazon founder Jeff Bezos discovered the F-1 rocket engines used to launch this mission into space. One of the conservators scanned the engine using a black light and a special lens filter and discovered the number 2044 written on the side of one of the thrust chambers. This number correlates to NASA number 6044, which is the serial number for the engine lost during the Apollo 11 mission. Number 9. YONAGUNI Monument. YONAGUNI Monument is a rock structure found underwater near Yonaguni Island in Japan. The pyramid monument was first discovered in the mid-1980s. This monument rises from a depth of 25 meters. This series of huge buildings, unknown in their origins, have been the topic of considerable debate and controversy in the waters off the coast of Japan. It all started when Masaaki Kimura, a professor at the University of the Ryukyus, asserted that these underwater structures were man-made in accordance with ancient code. Some, however, disagreed with Kimura's conclusion, believing that the formations were generated by natural processes such as erosion. Then, some believe that this might be proof of Mu, the rumored lost continent that drowned in the Pacific Ocean. Where do you think the Yonaguni Monument comes from? Number 8. Sea worms. In late 2018, a couple of divers off the coast of New Zealand discovered a horrifying 30-foot-long creature that resembles a huge worm. Fortunately, they had their cameras to capture the entire strange encounter. Steve Hathaway and Andrew Buttle, a pair of friends who go diving together on a regular basis, described the creature as hollow, almost like a huge windsock. Then, as the video footage they recorded plays, the sea worm changed shape and was sort of pulsating. Without a direct examination of the creature, experts can't identify what it is or what it may be. Still, they suspect it could be a parasome, a creature that isn't one single entity, but a combination of millions of small creatures that feed on plankton. When the creatures congregate, they produce a mass of bioluminescent material that can resemble this. If the scientists are correct, this isn't a worm at all, but rather a colony ship. What do you think it is? Number 7. ANTIKYTHERA mechanism. This unusual piece of technology, discovered on a shipwreck off the coast of Greece, perplexed experts for years until X-ray imaging was established. As a result, experts were able to accurately date the artifact and better understand its function. The ANTIKYTHERA mechanism was employed by the ancient Greeks to estimate the cycle of the universe, thanks to its bronze gear and calculative capability. It is presently housed in a museum in Athens, divided into 82 parts, but no one understood what it was for until Professor Freeth placed it through the amazing X-ray lens. However, they uncovered that it was used to, quote, track the movements of the sun, moon, and planets around 2,000 years before it was discovered in 1901, according to Smithsonian Magazine. That's extremely astounding, since the gadget predates ancient Greece. As a result, the mechanism is regarded as the first sort of computer ever created. Now you know the oldest computer. Number 6. Baltic Sea Anomaly. A feature found on the Baltic Sea seabed by Swedish treasure seekers last summer is making news once more. The most recent media coverage is based on an hour-long radio interview with Peter Lindberg, the head of the Ocean X team which made the Discovery, during which Lindberg makes a series of cryptic and titillating statements about this strange and mysterious seafloor object his team has been exploring for a year. Lindberg considers some options for what the item may be. Quote, "It has these extremely weird stair patterns, and if it's built, it must have been built tens of thousands of years ago, before the Ice Age," he remarked on the radio. "It would be extremely fantastic if this were Atlantis," he remarked. Atlantis is a legendary undersea city mentioned in ancient stories. Lindberg admits that the item may be a natural structure, such as a meteorite that entered the ice during the Ice Age or an underwater volcano. Still, he conveys the sense that experts are perplexed by it. Geologists, for example, are alleged to have advised him that the item cannot be a volcano. What do you think Lindberg found? Number 5. Ancient City of Cleopatra. Queen Cleopatra was the final monarch of Egypt and the last ruler of the Greek Ptolemaic dynasty. Cleopatra was a powerful Egyptian pharaoh known for her authority as well as her beauty and love connections with Roman kings Julius Caesar and Mark Antony. Cleopatra, who ascended to the throne at 18, ruled Egypt from 51 BC to 30 BC until her fatal suicide. This occurred at the same time as her lover Mark Antony's death and Egypt's loss of independence, when the nation became another province of the Roman Empire. Cleopatra's capital of Egypt and the site of her palace was Alexandria. The ancient Egyptian city vanished beneath the Mediterranean 1,200 years ago. Heraklion is said to have been founded around 8th century BC, before the foundation of Alexandria in 331 BC, and functioned as a mandatory port of entry into Egypt for any ships coming from the Greek world. No evidence of Thonis Heraklion had been discovered before its discovery in 2000 by archaeologist Frank Gaudio. The city was known to the Greeks as Thonis. Its name was nearly erased from human memory, only to be retained in old classic literature and rare inscriptions discovered on land by archaeologists. According to research, the location was impacted by geological and catastrophic events. The sluggish movement of soil substance affects this area of the Mediterranean southeastern basin. The rise in sea level also had a key role in the land's submergence. Think about how amazing this city must have been, full of wonder and exciting people. Now, all that is underwater. Makes you wonder what might happen to some big cities in 1,000 years. Number 4. Flowing river under the Black Sea. Before looping over a large plain beyond, the river rushes through steep-sided canyons and churns around lonely rock towers. It's a raging torrent on par with the Colorado River, which carved out the Grand Canyon. However, this spectacular natural treasure has never been shown in tourist images or maps. What's the reason? It is located 2 miles beneath the surface of the Pacific Ocean. The Monterey Canyon, which stretches away from the California coast, has been formed by this strange, quote, undersea river over millions of years. Beyond the canyon's entrance, the flow has carved a valley into the seafloor that stretches for about 200 miles before pouring onto the deep ocean's abyssal plain. According to experts, this strange occurrence is accomplished by a high concentration of salt water at the bottom separated from the freshwater above by, quote, a cloud of hydrogen sulfide, resulting in a river-like density. How amazing is this? Number 3. The Neptune Memorial Reef. The real term for this spectacular human-made art display beneath the seas of Key Biscayne in Florida, USA. In execution, it's more like an underwater city of the dead, but that doesn't make it a sad place. It's actually wonderfully beautiful. The exhibits that have been placed on the seafloor have been purposefully made to appear old, but they were really constructed and organized by artist Kim Brandel in 2007. There's more to Neptune Memorial Reef than the stone lions and sculptures. It's also a working graveyard where cremated human remains are cast into concrete shapes and then become a part of the necropolis. They can be visited by their friends and relatives, as long as those friends and relatives don't mind doing a little scuba diving in addition to housing the dead. Brandel believes that coral and marine life will be drawn to the 16-acre site, which she plans on expanding in the future. She hopes it will eventually become the world's largest man-made reef. I sure would love to visit this breathtaking work of art. Number 2. The Zimchong Canyon. The Bering Sea is a region of the Pacific Ocean located between Alaska's peninsula and Russia's northern coast. A deep underwater canyon called Zimchong is probably deeper than the Grand Canyon on land. Proof of this assertion may be found in 2 places. For starters, whole submarines are claimed to be capable of and have traveled through this location effortlessly. Second, according to Listverse, this canyon, quote, can only be viewed in its entirety from space. So with that in mind, the Mariana Trench appears to be a piece of cake. Amazing! Number 1. The Great Blue Hole. This intimidating structure may be seen in the little Central American country of Belize. At first look, it appears to be exceedingly deep, as evidenced by the color of the water, which is significantly darker than the surrounding seas. According to Listverse, it is the, quote, largest ever recorded. Despite its frightening appearance, the Great Blue Hole has grown in popularity among tourists, particularly those who desire to plunge into it. However, because it's so deep, quote, guided tours will only take you a portion of the way down, according to Listverse, which makes it even more terrifying. Jacques Cousteau made the place renowned when he named it one of the world's top 5 scuba diving spots. He brought his ship, the Calypso, to the hole in 1971 to document its depths. This expedition's investigations established the hole's origin as typical karst limestone formations, developed before sea level increases in at least 4 phases, leaving ledges at depths of 69, 161, and 299 feet. Onshore caverns with comparable formations, such as massive collapsed sinkholes, are well known in Belize and the Yucatan Peninsula, where they are referred to as cenotes. Unlike continental cenotes, which frequently connect to underwater cave networks, the Blue Hole shows minimal horizontal growth. And if you enjoyed this video, we have another like it right here of the world's scariest archaeological discoveries ever found. I'm sure you'll enjoy watching it as well.